So Alex Ayala just won the match between Alicia Parks in last August 5th. Now, a lot of experts is saying that Ayala has no chance to win titles against if she play with formidable opponents like the bigger names, right? So and because of her weakness in serving. But in this video, I will show you an statistics of Alexandra Eala on in recent selected plays or games against formidable opponents. So this is to point out what happened there statistically. So Ayala wins primarily through return pressure, left-handed patterns, movement, and superior error management. It's not through aces or overwhelming serve speed. Her principal weakness remains pre-point generation on serve, particularly when the first serve percentage drops and opponents attack her second delivery. She compensates by neutralizing the opponent's serve, extending rallies, creating uncomfortable contact points, and performing exceptionally well on important points. Her serve often starts the point rather than ends it. Once the rally is neutral, her return quality depth, movement, and patience create the error gap. So her winning formula: neutralize the serve, and then these are the serve of the opponent are very superior, right? So she will neutralize the serve and then establish depth and then move with lefty patterns, depend on one extra ball. So she forced the opponent to have a one extra ball and then convert break chance. So look at her statistics on return points. She won in key wins. Those key wins, 43 to 51% on return points. So how Ayala wins matches? She turns the opponent's serve into a neutral rally. Ayala's return numbers are the foundation of her game. Look at these return points. Against Pegula, 43.7. Against Osaka, 45.8%. Against Swiatek, 50.7. Against Paulini, 37, only for 37. She lost her in this match. Against Parks, 46% return points. Against Osaka, Osaka hit 5 aces to Ayala's 0. Osaka hit 5 aces, but Ayala didn't have any aces on that match. But Ayala won 45.8% of return points and broke 4 times. Parks, which have excellent serves, hit 10 aces to Ayala's 2. But Ayala won 46% of return points, including 54 against Park's second serve. Pegula produced 4 aces while Ayala produced none, yet Ayala still broke 5 times. Ayala does not need to win every return aggressively. She blocks or redirects enough first serves deep, then becomes dangerous once the point reaches a neutral baseline position. Her serve works as a starting shot, not a finishing shot. The Pegula and Osaka matches illustrate the distinction between serve power and serve effectiveness. Look at the statistics. Ayala hit 0 aces against Pegula, yet won 84.4 of points behind her first serve. Against Osaka, She again hit zero aces, but won 71.4% behind the first serve and 78.9% behind the second serve. Those numbers indicates that she was winning with a serve plus one combination. Placed the left-handed serve sufficiently well, received a predictable or defensive return, control the next ball with her forehand or backhand, move the opponent before attempting the finish. The serve itself may not be unreturnable, but it can still organize the rally in Ayala's favor. Unforced error counts are score dependent, but the direction of the pattern is clear. Ayala wins when her depth converts pressure into errors. She creates an advantageous error differential. The error totals in her major victories are striking. For example, Swiatek, 44 unforced error against Ayala's 21. Osaka, 34 to 18 forced error. Pegula, 18 against Ayala's 18. Paulini, 42 against Ayala's 28. This should not be interpreted as opponents simply donating matches. Unforced error is a subjective classification. Ayala contributes to those misses too. For example, consistent depth that prevents opponents from stepping comfortably inside the baseline. Another is changes of direction after several cross-court balls, or a left-handed forehand trajectory that gives right-handed opponents an unfamiliar pattern, and also speed and defensive balance that force opponents to hit an additional attacking shot. Relatively disciplined shot selection on important points. She frequently invites an aggressive opponent to attempt a lower percentage finishing ball rather than to, to out-hit that opponent immediately. She unusually efficient on high leverage points. Against Swiatek, Ayala converted 71.4% of break points, while Swiatek converted only 27.3%. She also saved 8 of 11 break points, despite winning only 56.4% of her total service points. Now, for those who are new in tennis, including me, who only become an avid fan of tennis when Ayala become popular. So break points is it occurs when the player receiving serve is 1 point away from the winning the opponent's service game. Example, if the server is behind 30 to 40, 30-40, 1 break point. That means the one who has 40 is 1 point away to win the a match or a point. If the server is behind and it has 0 to 40, that is three consecutive breakpoint opportunities. So meaning the opponent or the server needs to have 15 and then become 30 and become 40. So if it is 15 to 40, two consecutive opportunities. Advantage receiver after deuce or 1 breakpoint. When the receiver wins that point, they break serve. When the server wins it, they save the break point. Example in a game. Suppose Alex Eala is returning and then score reaches to 30-40. Ayala now has a break point. So if she wins the next rally, she wins the game and breaks her opponent's serve. If the opponent wins, the score becomes deuce, and the breakpoint has been saved. So how is statistics record breakpoints? A statistic such as 5-9 breakpoints converted means Ayala created 9 opportunities to break serve. She won 5 of those 9 points or breakpoint opportunities. So her conversion rate was 55.6%. So another example, if statistics such as 8 over 11 breakpoints saved, that means Ayala faced 11 breakpoints while serving. She prevented the opponent from breaking 8 times. So out of 11, 8 times, the opponent, she prevented from having a point because the opponent has 40 and then Ayala win and some returns, for example. So that means she was broken 3 times. So why breakpoints are important? Most tennis points do not directly decide a game. Breakpoints do. They are high leverage points because winning one changes who controls the set. A player can win many return points but still lose if those points are not won at the right moment. For example, player A wins 45% of return points but converts only 5 of 7 breakpoints. Player B wins 47%, which is higher than 45% of return points but converts only 2 out of 10. In this case, player A may be more likely to win because she was more efficient on the decisive points. What breakpoint statistics reveal about Ayala? For a return-oriented player such as Ayala, breakpoint performance is especially important because she does not always rely on aces or easy service points, so she compensates by putting many returns into play, pressuring the opponent's second serve, extending rallies, creating repeated break opportunities, converting opportunities at important moments. So mind that all sports have it's not only strength, but those strategies in the game have some psychological factors. However, breakpoint conversion shouldn't be interpreted alone. A player 3 has a better percentage than someone who converts 5 out of 12. But the second player created far more pressure and actually broke serve more times. Both the number of opportunities and the conversion rate matter. Let's focus on DF here. This is double fault. A double fault occurs when a player misses both service attempts on the same point. This point begins with up to 2 serves. First serve, the server usually uses more speed or aggression. Second serve is the first serve is a fault. The player receives another attempt. So if the second serve is also a fault, it's a double fault, and the receiver automatically wins the point. Against Pegula, Alex made 3 double faults. Against Osaka, 1. Against Swiatek, no double faults, meaning Ayala is accurate on doing the first serve and second serve. Paulini, she made 3 double faults. Wine Parks, 6 double faults. So what counts as a service fault? A double fault. So that's what we are seeing here, figures. So her opponent wins the point without hitting a return. So if you have too many double faults, you are giving away points. If Ayala missed the first serve but lands the second serve correctly, there's no double fault and the rally continues. Why double faults matter? Double faults are particularly costly because they give away a point without requiring opponent to hit a shot. They become even more damaging on important scores such as 30 to 40, 30-40 because double fault concedes a service break. So deuce or advantage receiver, it can set point or match point. The second serve during a tiebreak. For example, double faulting at 30-40 means the server immediately loses the game. So let's see against Parks. Ayala made 2 aces, but 6 double faults. The number should be interpreted alongside total service points played, first serve percentage, second serve points won, break points faced, whether the double faults occurred at critical moments. So you can see there are 6 double faults made by Ayala, but this is a 3-set match. So that means it's normal. 6 in a short 2-set match usually indicates significantly second serve instability. So what does it mean if it is you have repeated double faults? It can indicate. So frequent double faults came from an unreliable ball toss of the server, loss of rhythm or confidence, excessive aggression on the second serve, fatigue affecting leg drive and timing, pressure on important points, or an opponent standing aggressively inside the baseline. And there are other reasons too, like there are external factors like a crowd can be a factor, or the emotion of the player. Players often respond by slowing down the second serve or adding more spin. However, an overly cautious serve can become easy to attack. The challenge is therefore not simply to get the serve in, but to produce a safe second serve with enough spin, depth, and placement to prevent an aggressive return. In the case of Ayala, double faults are important because her serve is not primarily three-point weapon. She usually compensates through strong returning, movement, and rally construction, but too many double faults can place additional pressure on those strengths. So what about the first in? It means the number of percentage of player first serves that landed legally inside the correct service box. It is also shown as first serve in, first serve in, first serve percent, first serve percentage. As example, suppose Alex Eala attempts 80 first serves and 50 land. So that means 50 out of 80 landed legally. So 62.5%. So this means 50 points began with a legal first serve. On the other 30 points, her first serve was a fault. She then had to use second serve on those 30 points. So you might ask, what is considered in? First serve is in when it lands inside the diagonally opposite service box or in boundary line that service box. A serve that touches the net and then lands correctly is a let. It is replayed and normally does not count as a first serve or a fault. So why this matters? Why first in matters? A player first serve is usually faster and more aggressive than the second serve. A high first in percentage can reduce the pressure on the second serve, lower the risk of double faults, help the server control the first shot of the rally, or make service games easier to hold. However, a very high percentage is not automatically excellent. A player might serve cautiously to reach 75%, but the serves may be easy to return. So typical interpretation of this is if you have below 50%, that means inconsistent, too many second serves required. If you have 55 to 65, generally normal or effective. Above 65%, strong consistency, provided the serve remains aggressive. If you have above 75%, that means you are excellent placement or potentially overly conservative. These ranges depend on playing style, of course, and match condition. When it comes to excellent serving, just like what the Ayala's opponent does, usually is pre-point. They have good pre-point generation. Pre-point generation means winning points with little or no rallying, usually because the opponent cannot make an effective return. A free point is not an official tennis statistics with one universal definition. Analysts commonly use it to describe points won through aces, unreturned serves, service winners, or where the opponent touches the serve but cannot return it into play. Sometimes a weak return followed by an easy service plus one winner. For example, a player serves, the opponent does not touch the ball, so that is ace and free point. Or the opponent reaches the serve but returns it into the net, and that is unreturned serve and free point. Or the opponent floats back a weak return, allowing an immediate forehand winner, often treated as serve created free point. The common feature is that a server wins without having to construct a long rally. Why free points matter? Free points reduce physical and mental workload of holding serve. A player who generates many free points can complete service games quickly. So this is typical baseline exchanges. So if you have a point generating player, you protect against occasional double faults. You can save energy during long matches, escape pressure situations such as breakpoints, and force the opponent to take more risks on return. For example, a powerful server, just like Parks, might win 3 points in a service game through an ace, an unreturned serve, and weak return winner. The player needs to win only one normal rally to hold serve. So free points also are not limited to aces. A player can hit few aces but still generate useful free points through placement, spin, and disguise. A serve directed into the opponent's body may force a missed return, even without great speed. A wide serve can pull the receiver off the court and create an easy next shot. So this is common to Alex. So I noticed that his production measures outright serve winners. Free point generation measures the broader ability to win quickly because of the serve of first strike pattern. So how this relates to Alex Eala? So Ayala generates fewer direct service free points than the tour's biggest servers. She may be out ace while still winning the match. So she compensates through strong return pressure, left-handed serve placement, serve plus one combination, movement and defensive recovery, rally consistency, forcing opponents to play additional shots, creating more breakpoint opportunities. This means Ayala often has to earn more of her service points through rallies. Against a player with a powerful serve, Ayala may need 4 or 5 shots to win point that the opponent can win with one serve. Her challenge is to improve point generation without sacrificing first serve consistency. Even a modest increase is unreturned serves and easy serve plus 1 points would make her games less demanding and allow her return game to become even more influential. So, overall assessment of Ayala. Ayala's profile is that of return-oriented counter-aggressive baseliner. Her current winning formula is neutralize the serve, establish depth, move the opponent with left-handed patterns, defend one extra attack, force or draw the error, convert the break opportunity. Her ceiling will rise considerably if she improves to area, a more defendable second serve with greater depth and variation, more free points or short ball finishes, or she is less dependent on sustained rally superiority. Even without those improvements fully developed, her turn game, movement, tactical discipline, and clutch breakpoint performance already allow her to defeat opponents with substantially greater serve power. Improvement on those servings and free-point generation. So while this is true, because Ayala have mental power and physical ability, because she is still young, so he will not handle.